And welcome to another episode of Boom and Bust. I'm your host, Tony Clement. I am here, right here at the News Forum, where all voices matter. We are back for our monthly panel, and we are honored to have with us two of our panelists, the Honorable Joe Oliver, a former finance minister and natural resources minister in the Canadian government, and also Senator Sandra Pupatello, who also served as an economic development and trade minister in the province of Ontario. The Honorable Gary Marr is on a plane right now and cannot join us, but he sends his regards. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
So, Joe, maybe I'll start with you. Obviously, the big news this week, it's still building as a news item, but Mark Carney went to the Oval Office, went to visit with President Trump in Washington, D.C. What do you see as the results of that trip?
Well, it wasn't as triumphant as the Blue Jays, but it's hard to know for sure. Look, it's pretty easy to say accomplish nothing because there is nothing concrete yet. But in the course of trade negotiations, often nothing is settled until something is settled. I mean, I can't say everything is settled because that's not the way. I don't think this is going to go at all. This looks like it may be sector by sector, at least prior to a real comprehensive negotiation of the USMCA. But it nevertheless is somewhat disappointing because we're struggling under these pretty onerous tariffs right now. It's clearly hurting our economy, and in that regard, we can't project strength because the economy is evoking weakness. We've had a 1.6 percent decline in the last quarter. The last 6 quarters have shown a decline in GDP per capita, which measures our standard of living, and that followed a 10-year insipid half a point increase, which was worse than every other developed country, with the exception, I think, of Liechtenstein. So we're also seeing a decline in capital investment. Our labor numbers are poor, especially for youth, and we've got an intractable housing problem. So that's the economic backdrop to a real need to improve things on the trade front. And so far, it hasn't happened. Could anyone have made a difference? We simply don't know. But so far I guess it's fair to say on tenterhooks, and whether we'll hear something definitive in the next on anything in the next couple of months, I don't know. There've been some talks. I know Howard Lutnick spoke sort of semi-privately to a senior group of Canadian businessmen, and it was a pretty tough message that the free trade era is over, and we're gonna have to live with it. So it's hard to be definitive, but so far we haven't seen anything concrete or particularly positive.
Yes, and Sandra, Joe concedes the point that we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. There was no big announcement, but are you confident that the talks are positive and ongoing?
We can all agree that there has been a tone shift since the early days of meetings with that administration, that seeing Carney and Trump together in the Oval Office, they almost look jovial or like pals. They're going to go for a beer after the cameras turn off. That was not the case early on. So I do think that there's a bit of a respect for Canada that Trump was not displaying earlier, and recognizing that we're a partner, in the sense that I could just almost rhyme off what Carney must have told him around investments, what our pension funds invest in America that he was not aware of, amounting literally to trillions of dollars over the course of years. And that is music to his ears that he probably simply wasn't aware. So when
Mm-hmm.
LeBlanc was very public about saying this is very much an educational process, so they understand how deeply embedded Canadians are in the American economy. And I think that point is starting to strike home. And that is why the tone has been changing. I, like Joe, was very concerned to hear Lutnick's comments about we want all of the auto assembly in the US. We
Right.
have a lot in Canada. And that concerns me. Having had to
Let's
fight
go.
for
Let's
those
turn back.
investments.
Let's turn back to that. We're going to take a brief break, Sandra, but I do want to delve
Sure.
deeper into that after this commercial break.